The rugby world is mourning the heartbreaking loss of Scott Hastings, one of the greatest players in Scottish rugby history. According to reports released on the 17th of May 2026, the former Scotland and British and Irish Lions centre passed away at the age of 61. Tributes immediately poured in from across the sporting world, with former teammates, coaches, and fans remembering him as a fearless competitor, inspirational leader, and true gentleman of the game. Scott Hastings was not just a rugby player, he was an icon of Scottish sport. For an entire generation, his name symbolized courage, passion, discipline, and pride. His death leaves behind an enormous void in the rugby community and in the hearts of those who admired him throughout his legendary career. Early life and childhood. Edinburgh was where Scott Hastings' remarkable journey began. Born on the 4th of December 1964, Scott grew up in a family deeply connected to rugby. From a young age, competition and athletic excellence were part of daily life. He attended George Watson's College, one of Scotland's respected rugby schools, where his natural talent quickly became obvious. Powerful, aggressive, intelligent, and fearless, Scott developed into one of the most exciting young centres in Scottish rugby. Rugby was more than a sport to him, it became his identity. Rugby career journey. Scott Hastings built a career that would forever place him among Scotland's rugby immortals. He played primarily for Watsonians and later represented Edinburgh with distinction. However, it was on the international stage where Scott truly became legendary. Between 1986 and 1997, Hastings earned 65 caps for Scotland, becoming Scotland's most capped player at the time of his retirement. He also represented the prestigious British and Irish Lions on multiple tours and played for the Barbarians. One of the defining moments of his career came during Scotland's historic 1990 Grand Slam victory over England at Murrayfield. His defensive brilliance and fierce determination helped Scotland secure one of the most celebrated victories in the nation's rugby history. Scott Hastings played rugby with passion that fans could feel through the television screen. Every tackle, every run, every battle carried emotion and intensity. He represented a golden era of Scottish rugby, a leader beyond statistics. Statistics alone cannot explain Scott Hastings' impact. Former Scotland coach Sir Ian McGeechan described him as single-minded and determined about winning, while current Scotland coach Gregor Townsend called him an iconic figure who inspired an entire generation of young players. He played with aggression, confidence, and enormous pride in the Scottish jersey. Fans admired not only his ability, but his heart. Even after retirement, Scott remained close to rugby through commentary, television appearances, and public speaking. His voice became familiar to rugby audiences around the world. Family and personal life. Scott Hastings came from a famous rugby family. He was the younger brother of Gavin Hastings, another legendary Scotland and Lions player. Together, the Hastings brothers became one of rugby's most respected sibling duos. Away from rugby, Scott was known as a family man. He often spoke warmly about his wife Jenny and their children. Tragically, his wife Jenny passed away in 2024, a devastating personal loss that deeply affected him. Despite life's hardships, Scott continued supporting charities and mental health awareness initiatives. He also worked closely with organizations connected to motor neuron disease research and support. Those close to him frequently described him as compassionate, humorous, and deeply loyal. Net worth estimation. At the time of his passing, Scott Hastings' estimated net worth was believed to be between $2 million and $4 million. His earnings came from professional rugby career, broadcasting and commentary work, television appearances, public speaking engagements, sponsorships, and ambassador roles. While rugby in his era did not provide the enormous salary seen today, Scott built a respected career both on and off the field through decades of dedication to the sport. Legacy in Scottish rugby. Scott Hastings' legacy will live forever in Scottish rugby history. He inspired countless young athletes to dream bigger, play harder, and wear the Scotland jersey with pride. To many fans, he represented the soul of Scottish rugby during one of its greatest eras. His performances, leadership, and personality made him unforgettable. Even generations who never watched him live have heard stories of his fearless style and commitment to the game. Cause of death? Hastings passed away peacefully in the intensive care unit, ICU, at the Western General Hospital. He had been undergoing treatment for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a type of blood cancer originally diagnosed in 2022. According to a statement issued by his children, Corey and Carrie Ann, his health deteriorated extremely quickly due to sudden medical complications. Emotional tribute. Today, rugby does not simply lose a former player. It loses a warrior, a leader, a symbol of Scottish pride. Scott Hastings gave everything to the sport he loved. He battled opponents with courage, inspired teammates with passion, and touched fans with authenticity. For many supporters, Scott Hastings was more than a rugby star. He was part of their memories, their childhood, and their love for the game itself. His name will forever echo through Murrayfield Stadium. His legacy will forever remain in rugby history. May Scott Hastings rest in peace.